What if I told you that one of the most effective strategies to regain leg strength, especially if you've been feeling weaker, slower, or more exhausted, comes from your kitchen rather than the gym or a medication? Indeed, according to recent studies, a single diet can start reviving neuromuscular function in as little as 12 hours when properly timed and partnered. A 2023 study that was published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition offers a startling revelation. Measurable increases in mitochondrial activity and muscle protein synthesis were observed the very following morning in persons over 50 who ate a particular kind of nutrient-rich diet in the evening. These are the biological factors that drive strength, energy, and recuperation, particularly in the legs, which are frequently the first to deteriorate with age. This goes beyond mobility or even beauty. It's about something far more basic, like your lifespan, self-reliance, and self-assurance. Everything changes when leg strength diminishes. Stair climbing feels more difficult. It gets unsteady. There is a drop in energy, and a lot of the time, people blame it on becoming older. Here's the reality though. Muscle deterioration is not primarily caused by age. The more serious offenders are mismatched circadian rhythms, low-grade inflammation, and persistent cellular undernourishment. It's not your calendar age, to put it another way. Your biology is to blame. It matters what you consume when you eat it, and how it affects your muscles and nervous system. This episode will examine the physiology and neurobiology of a single, easily accessible food that, when used properly, can significantly enhance leg function. You'll discover the nutritional composition that accelerates neuromuscular healing overnight, how this diet helps your muscles' energy producers, the mitochondria, function more efficiently, amino acid signaling's function in muscle density restoration, why the effectiveness of this diet depends on your circadian rhythm, when to do it to get the most impact, and a detailed procedure that you may begin tonight. This is science, not hype. It serves as a reminder that your body can recover more quickly than you may have imagined if you have the correct resources. Let's get started. For many years, we thought atrophy was the main cause of muscle loss with aging, muscle fiber shrinkage due to hormonal decrease or inactivity. However, neuroscience is now presenting an other image, one that is much more practical and hopeful. This is what scientists are discovering. A large portion of the muscle you believe you have lost is actually disconnected. This is what the study reveals. The motor neurons that link your brain and spinal cord to your muscles, especially your legs, start to deteriorate or lose their effectiveness as early as your 40s. Electrical signaling is diminished as a result of this separation, indicating that the signal to contract muscles is not fully received. They're not doing anything, but they're there. Adults with deteriorating leg strength nevertheless have the structural capacity for muscle activity, according to a groundbreaking study from the University of Calgary. Neuromuscular signaling was the problem. To put it another way, the muscle was simply offline rather than dead. This implies that it can be restored to the internet. Have you ever felt unsteady when getting out of a chair for no apparent reason? Or have you observed that, despite no change in routine, your legs are tiring more quickly than they used to? It's a breakdown in neuronal communication, not merely aging. Fortunately, there is a method for fixing it. Here, the spinal cord is crucial. In order to preserve signal quality, it depends on constant nutrient-driven support and serves as a relay station for movement commands. Imagine your nervous system as the supervisor shouting directions over a megaphone, and your leg muscles as a group of competent workers. Performance suffers if the megaphone's battery is running low. However, the squad immediately resumes work after recharging, fueling the neuromuscular junction where your nerves and muscles meet. With essential nutrients that improve signaling efficiency is one of the quickest ways to do this. Within hours, this connection can be significantly strengthened by specific amino acids, B vitamins, and cholinergic precursors. And the diet we're concentrating on helps with that. You will find that this diet is not only high in protein, but also contains the particular nutrients your neurological system needs to regain communication. This means that you are reactivating your muscles rather than just feeding them. Asking yourself if your nervous system is truly using the muscle you already have is a simple strategy to use before thinking about gaining more muscle. Leg weakness frequently has less to do with muscle mass and more to do with signal quality. The amino acid leucine, one of the most crucial nutrients for reactivating this system, and how it works as a molecular web for strength, will be covered in more detail now. But first, think about subscribing if this realization is changing the way you view your body. One discovery at a time, this channel is dedicated to transforming knowledge into strength. Shortly after eating, your body starts looking for signals, not only calories, but also molecular cues that tell it what to do next. And leucine is one of the strongest signals it seeks out. One necessary amino acid is leucine. This implies that you must obtain it from diet because your body is unable to produce it. However, its significance extends much beyond simple sustenance. Scientists refer to leucine as an anabolic trigger. It signals the moment for your cells to proliferate. This is what the study reveals. Mammalian target of rapamycin, or mTOR, is a biological process that leucine directly stimulates. For the synthesis of muscle proteins, this route functions as a control tower. Consider leucine as the finger that switches the internal switch that activates your body's capacity to grow or repair muscle tissue, which is mTOR. Researchers showed that even in older persons, a single leucine-rich meal could dramatically raise mTOR activity and promote muscle protein synthesis in a 2011 study that was published in the Journal of Nutrition. That's important since our muscles become less receptive to anabolic impulses as we age. Leucine, however, can overcome such barrier. It's actually one of the few nutrients that has been demonstrated to do so in a matter of hours. Have you ever had a high-protein lunch and yet experienced fatigue or weakness in your legs? The timing and quality of leucine may be more problematic than the amount of protein. Unbeknownst to them, many older persons eat just enough protein to prevent muscle loss, but little leucine to promote muscle growth. For this reason, where you get your protein is important. This is an easy tool to use. A leucine-rich food source should be the main focus of your first significant meal of the day. Leucine content is highest in animal proteins, including eggs, cattle, poultry, and especially whey protein. Approximately 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein contain 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, which is sufficient to activate mTOR and initiate muscle regeneration. Whey protein isolate is also one of the most effective ways to accomplish this if you want to reduce corners. Leucine and other vital amino acids are present in the proper proportion. For this reason, it is being used by sportsmen and more medical professionals who treat elderly patients to quickly restore muscle function. However, this is about reconnecting, not just rehabilitation. Because eating leucine-rich protein causes more than just growth in your muscles and brain. It's dialogue. You're re-establishing a biochemical dialogue between your muscles and nervous system, and your legs feel powerful, steady, and alive, again more quickly, the faster that discussion picks back up. Acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that really instructs your muscles to contract, is the second important factor in this equation that we will now examine, and the particular diet that restores it more quickly than the majority of supplements. If these insights are useful to you, you might want to like the video. It informs the algorithm that this material is important and enables us to provide more individuals in need with strength tools supported by science. Your brain sends a signal when you choose to get up, stand, walk, or get out of a chair. However, that signal does not reach your muscles immediately. It is first converted into acetylcholine, a chemical transmitter. The neurotransmitter acetylcholine is in charge of neuromuscular transmission, which is the exact mechanism by which a signal in your brain is translated into movement. Your muscles don't work correctly if you don't have enough of it. They misfire, hesitate, or just don't react. As we become older, this becomes more and more crucial. Research indicates that both acetylcholine synthesis and receptor sensitivity decrease with age, particularly in the motor neurons that supply the legs. This is one of the reasons why older persons are more likely to experience even minor balance problems or delayed muscular reactions. This is where the science becomes fascinating though. Choline, the precursor to acetylcholine, has been demonstrated to quickly restore this signaling ability. In less than 6 to 12 hours, boosting dietary choline can increase acetylcholine production, particularly when the brain is actively requiring motor coordination, according to a 2012 review published in Nutrients. What meal, then, provides you this advantage. Eggs. The richest natural source of choline is found in the yolks. More than 300 milligrams of choline, which is transformed into acetylcholine and aids in the restoration of that motor control pathway, can be obtained from just 2 entire eggs. Furthermore, this is more than just a dietary fact. It is a working protocol. Try this easy morning routine if you have tremors, instability, or decreased power when walking or standing, or if you feel that your legs are slow to react. Within 30 minutes of waking up, consume 2 whole eggs, preferably with a protein high in leucine, such as cottage cheese or whey. Why? Because acetylcholine synthesis tends to be naturally low after sleep. Motor neurons are more receptive to food input in the morning. When your body needs it most, you're providing it with the building blocks it needs to restore neuromuscular command. After eating a breakfast high in protein, have you ever noticed how much more confident your steps feel? The substance isn't a placebo, it's the more precise firing of your central nervous system. Choline does more than support muscle. It's improving the connection between your legs and brain. Don't worry if you're a plant-based person, or don't eat eggs. Quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans are additional sources of choline. However, egg yolks have the highest bioavailability, or how well your body can absorb and process it. Furthermore, acetylcholine does more than merely stimulate muscles. It also plays a significant role in memory, learning, and focus. Therefore, restoring acetylcholine levels in the brain improves both cognitive clarity and physical control, which is a win-win situation for aging gracefully. Another important link in this chain will be examined in the following part, along with how blood flow affects leg strength and a meal that improves circulation so well that it is being researched as a potential natural remedy for vascular dementia and performance weariness. Click subscribe if you're determined to reclaim your strength and lucidity. We're just getting started, and each section builds on the one before it with practical tools that you can use right now. Consider attempting to develop a garden, but having a kinked water hose. The plants will not flourish no matter how good the soil is, or how much sunlight you give them. Inside your muscles, especially in your legs, this is precisely what takes place. As we age, the arteries and capillaries supplying our lower limbs frequently constrict and become less responsive when blood flow becomes restricted or inefficient. 3 essential components of muscle function and repair are hampered by this: waste disposal, nutrition transport, and oxygen delivery. The outcome? Legs that are sluggish, heavy, or exhausted. Poor circulation can subtly undermine your strength, even if you're getting enough protein and exercising. Nitric oxide, or NO, is the primary chemical that controls blood vessel dilatation. Your endothelial cells, which line your blood vessels, automatically create this gas, which signals when your vessels should widen to let more blood flow through. It's interesting to note that nitric oxide synthesis is strongly influenced by diet, and beets are among the most potent natural enhancers. Your body transforms the dietary nitrates found in beets, especially when they are fresh or juiced, into nitric oxide. Within hours of consuming beetroot juice, older people's leg muscular power significantly improved, particularly in fast-twitch fibers, which are crucial for balance and fall prevention, according to a 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology. This isn't a small profit. Real-world movement testing, walking speed tests, chair stand tests, and even stair ascending tests showed considerable improvements. This is a basic tool that you can utilize. About 90 minutes before engaging in any physical activity, consume 250 to 300 milliliters of beetroot juice, or consume 1 or 2 medium beets. This enables the nitrates to start improving vasodilation by converting into nitric oxide. Do you want to go farther? Add dynamic stretching, a walk, light cycling, or 20 minutes of mild activity to this. Nitric oxide synthesis is increased by movement itself, particularly when your body is already overloaded with dietary nitrates. Imagine it like ramping up the pressure and priming the hose. Some individuals are concerned about beets' high sugar content. However, when eaten before exercise, the performance boost is greatly outweighed by the low glycemic load. A protein source or some greens high in fiber can also be used as a buffer. If this information is helpful to you, think about becoming a subscriber. We go deeply into evidence-based techniques like these to empower you rather than overwhelm you. Every video aims to provide scientific knowledge. You can start using it right away to feel more powerful, nimble, and in charge of your body. We'll look at inflammation, one of the most misunderstood parts of muscle loss, and how one food group can put out the low-grade, long-term fire that's eroding your leg strength from the inside out in the next section. It's there, like a continuous low hum in the background, even if you can't feel it. Chronic inflammation is what I mean. Chronic inflammation, in contrast to the acute, visible type that follows an injury, is quiet, systemic, and gradually impairs muscle function, particularly in the legs. This is what the study reveals. Muscle strength, coordination, and regenerative capacity can all be negatively impacted by chronic inflammation, even at modest levels. Higher levels of inflammatory markers, specifically C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, were found to be strongly linked to decreased muscle mass and strength in older adults, even when their physical activity and diet appeared to be adequate, according to a 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology. So, when this happens, what's going on in your body? The very processes that drive your muscular contractions, muscle protein synthesis, oxidative stress, and mitochondrial function are all hampered by inflammation. Additionally, it impairs your nervous system's capacity to effectively recruit muscle fibers. So even if a muscle is present, the signal to activate it is diminished. The unexpected portion comes next. The supplement aisle has one of the most effective instruments we have for putting out this ongoing fire. You can find it in your drawer of produce. Now, for the leafy dark greens. Consider mustard greens, chard, arugula, kale, and spinach. These are powerful anti-inflammatory foods in addition to being high in nutrients. They require high concentrations of nitrate molecules, magnesium, chlorophyll, and polyphenols, all of which help your body suppress inflammatory pathways. Specifically, it has been demonstrated that the flavonoid quercetin, which is present in mustard and kale greens, directly inhibits inflammatory cytokines such as TNF-alpha and IL-6. According to a 2019 study published in Frontiers in Pharmacology, eating foods high in quercetin on a regular basis can lower inflammation markers in 2 to 4 weeks, especially when paired with moderate activity. Including at least 1 full cup of dark leafy greens with your first meal of the day is a straightforward, scientifically supported practice. Why the initial meal? Because it aids in establishing the tone for the regulation of inflammation throughout your circadian rhythm, which is the internal clock that controls your hormone and immunological responses. Try pairing them with a healthy fat source, like as avocado or olive oil, to increase the absorption of fat-soluble antioxidants, such as beta-carotene and vitamin K, and with a squeeze of apple cider vinegar or lemon to improve nutrient absorption and digestion. It is important to note that these foods do not function in the same way as painkillers. The effects won't be seen right away, but over time, typically within 10 to 14 days, you might experience less soreness, a quicker recovery, more consistent energy, and a revitalized sense of leg strength. This is the point at which nutrition transforms from fuel into a signal for regulation. It signals your immune system to shut down since we're safe. In the following section, we'll examine something that most people completely ignore: how meal timing can either improve or worsen your leg strength and muscle recovery, particularly as you age. What you consume is only half the story when it comes to building back leg strength. Particularly as we age, the timing of our meals may become equally significant. You see, once you eat a protein-rich meal, you initiate a process known as muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. Your body uses this biological process to create new muscle tissue and repair damaged muscle. In essence, your body is telling you to develop. The issue is that this signal becomes weaker as we age. Your muscles become less receptive to dietary protein as a result of a condition called anabolic resistance. Therefore, even if you consume enough protein in your diet overall, your body may not use it to its maximum potential for muscle growth if the timing is improper. What is the solution then? This is what the study reveals. Muscle growth and maintenance, particularly in the legs and lower body, are greatly enhanced by distributing protein-rich meals equally throughout the day, beginning with breakfast. People who ate nearly similar amounts of protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner had 25% higher rates of muscle protein synthesis than those who ate most of their protein at evening, according to a 2014 University of Texas study. Why? Since every meal served as a distinct stimulus for muscular growth, the signal remains strong all day. Furthermore, eating 30 to 60 minutes after walking or doing light exercise can intensify this impact, especially in older persons. The time frame known as the anabolic window occurs when your muscle cells are most receptive to nutrition and have the capacity to quickly absorb amino acids in order to repair damaged tissue. This is an easy-to-follow protocol. Step 1. At your first meal of the day, try to consume 30 grams of high-quality protein. That could resemble a Greek yogurt bowl with hemp seeds and cherries, or 3 eggs with sautéed spinach and lentils. Step 2. Within an hour after engaging in any physical activity, such as a stroll, a stretching exercise, or mild weight training, consume a meal or snack that contains both complex carbohydrates and protein. This could be a meal of quinoa, beans, and olive oil, or it could be a smoothie made with protein powder and banana. By promoting insulin, a hormone that improves nutritional absorption, the carbohydrates aid in the more effective transport of amino acids into your muscle cells. Step 3. Don't stack proteins during dinner. Research indicates that your muscles can only generate a certain quantity of protein at a time, often between 30 and 40 grams, despite the temptation to store the largest meal for the evening. The remainder is then either stored or oxidized for energy. You're talking to your muscles as well as nourishing them when you time and distribute your meals optimally. You're urging your body to stay alive, strong, and active. And that's the main concept here. Muscle is a metabolic organ that safeguards your vitality and is not merely for movement. We'll tie everything together in our conclusion, from the importance of nitric oxide to the influence of nutritional timing, and provide you with a concise, motivating synopsis, along with one easy action you can take right now to improve your energy, leg strength, and general health. You've already taken the most crucial step, becoming informed, if you've read this far. You now understand that it is not a pipe dream to regain leg strength, even in just 12 hours. It is a fact of physiology. When you know how to cooperate rather than interfere with your body's natural functions. Let's quickly review the 6 ideas supported by science that we have discussed. The molecule that propels blood flow to your legs is nitric oxide, which helps deliver energy, nutrients, and oxygen where they are most required. Muscles stagnate without it. One of the most potent natural nitric oxide boosters is beetroot, particularly when taken as a concentrated powder. Within hours, it can cause noticeable improvements in leg blood flow and function. The inner lining of your blood arteries, or endothelium, is essential for oxygenating your muscles. This system can actually be revitalized by eating foods high in nitrates, polyphenols, and antioxidants. Although ass-twitch muscle fibers, particularly those in your legs, are susceptible to aging, they are also extremely sensitive to variations in blood flow, diet, and neurological stimulation. Because of the gut-muscle connection, your diet not only influences how you digest food, but also how your brain and muscles interact. This is largely due to beetroot's impact on gut microorganisms. Finally, meal timing maintains your muscle-building machinery running and helps you avoid anabolic resistance, especially when it coincides with movement. The recurring theme is that your body is designed for adaptation and desires to regenerate. Giving it the appropriate inputs in the appropriate amounts at the appropriate times is the difficult part. Here's what you need to do next. Easy, understandable, and efficient. Have a smoothie made with beets to start your day tomorrow. Add a protein source, such as Greek yogurt or a vegan substitute, and just after drinking it, take a 15-minute walk. Your blood vessels are primed, nitric oxide is released, and muscle signaling is started. Within 30 to 60 minutes after that, eat a breakfast high in protein. Because the science is so clear, even minor interventions, a single nutrient, a quick walk, or a well-timed meal, can result in quick, quantifiable changes in how your body functions and how you feel, particularly in your legs, which serve as both your foundation for movement and a reflection of your metabolic health and vitality. This means that momentum is more important than leg strength, and you'll begin to notice something small but significant when you use these tools on a daily basis. Not only do your legs feel stronger, but you also feel more capable, invigorated, stable, and like yourself again. So, give this protocol a try and see what happens. Please like, comment, and subscribe if this video gave you a fresh perspective on your body and your possibilities. With evidence-based resources that support your mind, body, and life, our community is here to help you not just survive, but thrive. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you in the upcoming episode.